All right. What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you've never been here before, this is a live show. So just a reminder, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else with the show, including the mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Sorry. Had something in my throat. All right, getting along with it. If you have not gotten our notifications, make sure to sign up at our website. And remember, today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. You can get up to 70% off on a 3-year plan if you use the special code Marfoogle and help independent media at the same time. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Tonight, all of the news is going to be backed up. As always, we take the time before every single show to back up every story with a bibliography. If we say anything that's rumor or otherwise, we will make sure to clarify so. Now, if you actually go to marfooglenews.com, you'll be able to follow along on a second device, say a tablet or a cell phone. You can see that it is very easy to navigate. You just go to this thumbnail. They are watching/coming for you. And, of course, once you click on that, you'll see that we have every single article, every single tweet, every single video right here and ready for you to read later or read along. Again, at the very end as well, of course, we have callers at the same time. Those will all be at the end of the page. And then there is web-only content. All the stuff that's too hot for TV will be down there. And then at the very bottom, caller info. If a YouTuber like Jacob Israel calls in, or BP Earthwatch, if they call in and do a spot on the show, their information and channels will be there. If you want to support us over on the right, you can go over and support us via using our Amazon link by clicking on that box, PayPal, or by going to our store, or by going with any of our affiliates, including Emp Shield. All right, Dex, what is going on? Dex is my internet brother. He's also our call screener and my co-host. What is going on, Dex, and how are you doing tonight?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing pretty good.
So, web-only content, amazing stuff over there. I would say specifically tonight, we don't actually really say it at all because we just started the web-only probably a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I would say make sure to go over there tonight. There's some really, really good stuff there. And again, really kind of hotly rated. There's that hot stuff over there. There is, as my 14-year-old would say, there's the tea. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the tea. Spilled tea. I think there's spilled tea at the bottom of our page, but I'm not sure. Continuing, Chinese spareware. Chinese underwear code. Chinese spyware code was copied from America's NSA researchers. I've actually been reading a lot about some of the stuff that's been going on, and I've actually been reading about it from news outside of our country, and by our country, I mean U.S. By the way, Dex, before you get caught up on the phone, there's a lot of weird things that are popping out now that we've had, of course, this massive hack, the SolarWinds hack that happened. Dex, have you also noticed that there's almost a daily story about something else that's been hacked and something that's been accessed by other countries?
Well, yeah, we see this happening more and more, and I think it was even told to us before, but we're even seeing this in the mainstream that is, cyber is the new battle ground, so to speak, right? For the conflicts that you would think of in the traditional sense. It's all moving to ones and zeros instead of grenades and other things. So
no, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying it is the new realm, and it's just interesting. Even when you look at who we recruit and the type of talent we're putting into even our military, going after a lot of the high tech cyber type stuff is becoming a very high priority.
And of course, we have seen that obviously people say, "Oh, well, cyber, then who cares?" This is, that's not the same as a ground conflict, right? I would have to differ with you. So not only has Blackstart, our main program to restart our grid after a massive failure or attack, not only was that accessed, but they know that all 5 military branches were accessed during this SolarWinds hack. The Pentagon was hacked, so all of their private information. If the info is one of the most dangerous things in the world, and that is why you will see that a lot of info is being suppressed right now, because info and knowledge is actually more dangerous than any WMD. And I would say that most people, if they are smart enough, they understand that information can turn the tides of a conflict. So right now there is a big clamping down from all sides, and I mean all sides, on some of the real information. And then, of course, people talk about misinfo. Misinfo is an extremely important part of propaganda and the stuff that's going out. And my opinion is that there is so much of it that it is like finding a needle in the haystack to find the truth. And you would think that if you have all of this news everywhere on MSM, that you would think that 90% of it was true and 10% of it was false. I think it's more of like a crapshoot to get real truth out of the current selection of news. Even the ones that we think are being truthful, they're probably just being truthful for ratings. And if it prospers them, later down the road to turn their opinions, they will. And we've seen that several times just recently. So if you guys agree with me, let me know in the chat. By the way, this is a live show. I will be saying hi to some people. I will be saying thank you for those who support. Some people have a problem with that. You can always fast forward if you're watching the replay. But I do want to say hi because you guys have been here for 3 years, every single live show. And I really, really appreciate you. And so does Dex. We work really hard on this show. So for you guys to show up, it's almost like if you build it, they will come kind of thing. And just had a long weekend and some pretty serious stuff happened over the weekend. And I just wanted to reflect and say that I care about you guys more than ever. Say yeah. What is going on? Unicorn Forest. We've got Gem, Mystical Misfit. Burger Master 1776 says, didn't get notification from Marfoogle. You should have. I don't know. We'll have to check on that. Pizza Lover. Okay. Thank you so much for being here again. Let's see here. Dixie Doe. Ever Dazed. Thank you so much. Johnny Doom, Jimmy Shively, and Philbilly X. Thank you all for being over on D-Live. Nappy Soldier Live Drum and Bass Band. Thank you for being the last one out last show. I really do appreciate your support. And again, get at us. Don't be a stranger. So it says that the Chinese spies used code first developed by U.S. National Security Agency to support their hacking operations. It says Israeli researchers said on Monday that another indication of how malicious software developed by governments can boomerang against their creators. It says that Tel Aviv-based Checkpoint Software Technologies issued a report noting that some features in a piece of China-linked malware it dubs GN. Oh, is that Jin? I wonder if that's how you say Jin or spell GN, were so similar that they could have been stolen from some of the National Security Agency break-in tools leaked to the internet in 2017. It says that called GN, Yanef called a GN a kind of copycat, a Chinese replica. So you're saying this sounds too unbelievable. So China found something that was good and works, and then did a knockoff version of it? It just doesn't sound like China to copy something we did. I don't know about this one. This might fall under that misinfo category. The find comes as some experts argue that American spies should devote more energy to fixing the flaws they find in software instead of developing and deploying malicious software to exploit it. It says the NSA declined comment. The Chinese embassy in Washington did not respond to requests for comment. It says a person familiar with the matter said Lockheed Martin Corporation, which is credited as having identified the vulnerability exploited by Xi'an in 2017, discovered it on the network of an unidentified third party. So a third party was the one that was kind of connecting it through. This is how it's been working. This is why there's always kind of a burner phone per se, right? There's always this third thing that isn't traceable, but then they find these little signs, and when they go in to investigate, they kind of find these connections. How many of you believe that it is China, and how many of you believe that it is as somebody else entirely trying to make it look like China. I bet you that more would lean on the prior statement. It says, in a statement, Lockheed said that it routinely evaluates third-party software and technologies to identify vulnerabilities. So again, they're using these third-party softwares to get in, like SolarWinds. SolarWinds, Dex, I don't know if you disagree with me, but SolarWinds, wouldn't that have been kind of a third party to get into all of this stuff? Because it was something that they, of course, it was an actual program to defend against stuff, and they ended up using that to take advantage of it, and then it ended up, kind of being this Trojan into thousands and thousands of systems.
Exactly. I mean, it is third-party software, and it's, it was a tool, it was a utility type application that you would put into your network to monitor and manage things, and it falls into that category. It's really behind the scenes on the back end of a lot of network operations, and so it really had access to a lot of things. So when somebody backdoored that program, that really gave people a backdoor into the network and into everything that was really behind the scenes at these large companies and even small companies.
To put that into scope, not only all 5 of the military branches, not only the Pentagon, not only the White House, not only all of government has basically been accessed. You're talking about all of the Fortune 500 companies that use this, which there were at least 500 of the largest companies. So these companies that have all of your information, in fact, half of them, of course, are getting all of your of course, merchant data as well, like what you buy. If you notice, even if you go to Target, if you use a credit card there, unknowingly, they're actually recording every single thing you buy. That's more of a simple one, of course, right? But now you can actually kind of see it. Even the Target app shows you exactly what you bought, when you bought it, and what you're most likely to buy. This is how kind of the internet sales has worked for a while now, but now it's getting scarier and creepier. But on top of that, now someone else has accessed all of our information. And when you take algorithms that some of these countries actually have and employ, you're talking about a system that can basically profile each one of us without us knowing. So they know what you like, what you dislike, everything about you, your cousins, your family, every connection. And then they can take a bigger, greater computer system, say China or Russia or any of these guys that have access to supercomputers, now can do this kind of grid and map out all of us. So if you wanted to take over a country, one thing that would be really great, and you would think, this would be something that is kind of like, we never had before, but now that we do, definitely would help, is knowing exactly where everybody is, including their address, where they are, physically where they are, their ping, where they're actually located. Think about that. If you were taking over a country and you knew every important person and every person of interest and every VIP and where they were at all times, that is a scary thing. This is like... This is the biggest thing that's ever happened. And of course, people go about it. They go about their day. And this isn't necessarily China. We don't know exactly what is behind this. This could be some sort of taking a boom boom to our own foot. We don't know. But again, there's much more to come. Yeah, like I said, they've accessed our system. If our grid goes down, they'll know exactly how to keep it down. Rockets hit Baghdad's fortified green zone housing the U.S. Embassy. I don't know why I'm used to just saying USS. It's the third attack in just over a week to target areas hosting U.S. troops, diplomats, or contractors. In another recent incident, at least one non-American civilian working with the U.S.-led coalition was perished. And it says at least 2 rocket attacks have hit its so-called green zone, where the U.S. Embassy is located. So out of BDAD, of course, this event that is happening over there, which apparently it is a whole lot more. I've talked to some of my colleagues here on YouTube. Some of them actually have connections over there, and they said that it is way more active than our MSM is showing. So one thing I did is I went outside of our VPN, and I basically put myself over there. And there was some pretty interesting stuff popping up. We're talking about way more events than what we're seeing here. Way more random kind of boom boom moments, all of them not being talked about. And we're talking about, several hundred people, in a couple day period. So something bigger is going on, and obviously, why would they not cover half of these things? Why are they not covering? Just kind of like, Dex and I talked about this, and there's a video out on our other channel, Marfoogle News. If you haven't subscribed, go over there, talking about how they did not cover some of the stuff that was going on. In fact, we'll probably link that video again just to show you. We actually put this video out just a couple days ago. Let me see if I can pull it up. Talking about how nobody was covering it. Let's see here. And it's a clip, so it's short, so you can actually share it out. But I'd highly recommend that everybody actually go over and share this one, because this one is actually a very important one. Let's see here. And of course, I'll just wait, YouTube. Thanks. It's not like we're in a live show or anything. Boom. New alliance, barely anybody. This video. I'll say that, but I won't get. This video went under the radar. So let me just pop up. God, what an annoying voice. This guy's kind of Okay, so this video went under the radar, but this is actually a 6-minute video that I highly encourage everybody actually go over and check out. There's a lot more bigger stuff here than what people realize. These new alliances with China and India and everything else obviously are not being talked about by everybody else. India, of course, joining Iran and Russia in their drills when they were just fighting a month and a half ago. Them emptying out all of their bases. I think we're getting closer to go time. That's my personal opinion. Everyone is entitled to it. So again, if you disagree with me, that's fine. In fact, I welcome you to disagree with me. I hope that I am wrong. But I do believe that we are right at the precipice of something massive. Now, one thing that proves this to me is what happened last year, what happened in January, what is happening currently. Why is our capital still, fenced up? In fact, they said it until September. Something is going on, and it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Let's see here. Yes, go time, says J Hope. We've got Zenato Pineapple Express. I like your sweater, Adam. Thank you. It is from Thriftway. Or not Thriftway. Thriftway is a grocery store. It's from the thrift store. I forget what it's called. We have Goodwill, and then we have the other one. No, it doesn't. Yes, the Lord is screwed up for sure. When have I heard of this before? LOL. Shastina, what's going on? Thank you. Rambler, I hope so. Something is definitely up, says Bearclaw. Skywatcher for life says, hey, Marf. Adam's Patch, what is going on? First time catching you live. Well, Giuliani, I think that's how you say it. Giuliani Rodriguez, thank you so much for tuning in. Joe Adams, my internet has been terrible yesterday and today. This is another thing. Internet goes out. I don't think people realize that the internet will just go like that. You have to realize that right now we have covered so many things that kind of show you the writing on the wall and show you what the plan would be. So let's just say hypothetically something was to happen. What would it be? Well, first of all, communications is the number one thing that you go for. If you were trying to take out an enemy, what do you go for first? Comms. And guess what? It seems like there's this multifaceted conflict here. And one of them is against us as far as, just regular people. Because it seems like now certain people can't even communicate. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because you might be just an average, regular Susie or average Joe trying to post something that you think is important, and it just gets wiped out and says, oh, you've gone against this or you've gone against that. One thing that I have to say is that if you don't toe the line, then you don't have a line to toe. Right now, it's very important. Look what is happening in TV and entertainment and everything else. This reminds me of another period, over 6-7 decades ago. So history repeats itself. History is showing us we knew about WW2 before WW2 kind of popped off. So there's a lot of things that are very similar. But one thing else, though, too, is that you have to remember all of this stuff is going down right now. And people have been saying it for years. They've butted heads. But now we actually have something a bigger step. We have this, of course, this event that everybody is locked down and all of this is going on. I don't know what kind of planning is going into this stuff. But if there was any time in history in the last 5 decades to do something like this, it would be right now. They cut out the internet. Boom, no comms. Cut out the power, no power. Then therefore you lose water, you lose everything else. They say 90% of us would perish on our own if we had our grid taken down. So just remember that. It doesn't take them physically even coming onto our land to actually take out most of us. And by us, I mean U.S. Same with other countries, though. I believe that others would have the same issue. Air Force wants to harden the B-2 boomer to withstand an EMP attack. So we've shown you there's tons of this out there. We've shown you every piece of this. Why are they doing this? Why are they so adamant about not only warning the U.S. people, saying, hey, you need 6 months to a year of food just in case of an EMP? Oh, and then they just let us know that just recently, in the last month, that the SolarWinds hack accessed the Black Start program. That Black Start program is exactly how we would try to recover from an EMP or a solar flare that hit and knocked out the whole grid. Well, guess what? If it's not natural and it's an actual enemy, or if it's natural and the enemy then takes advantage of that, either way, they know how to keep that off. So instead of trying to guess through the whole country and figure out how to keep this thing off and not knowing what we're going to do, they're going to know exactly what we're going to do. They're going to know, oh, well, step 1 is we need to go to these 9 locations and then set up and replace these or do that. And then we need to have a plan with EMS and all of this. Well, then they can go, okay, well, if we block these roads, they won't be able to fix that. So instead of trying to guess and putting thousands and thousands of troops into it or something like that, or sleeper cells, they could, have 10 people and keep the whole thing off for, indefinitely if they wanted. It depends on how you look at the Black Start. If you look at Black Start, it is comprehensive, and there were top secret parts of that. They accessed all of that. So it's kind of like, how do people not see this? Well, because they don't show you. They're not trying to scare you. And again, my job is not to scare you, but my job is to show you that this is a real thing. And it's unfortunately something that, most of us would rather know than not know. That's why I say, I don't care, fearmonger. You can watch anything you want on YouTube. You don't have to watch me. In fact, we make sure to back up everything with a link, a source, and a bibliography. Not everybody does that, especially if they're, I've been bunched in with people that I really don't think are very similar at all because they don't do the research behind it. But as far as, saying fearmonger this and that, why would we not want to talk about this, have conversations, and all prepare and have it be just something that's normal and that's, as much of a risk as when you go to drive, you put on a seatbelt. Why do you put on a seatbelt? Do you drive out of the driveway knowing you're going to get in a car accident? No. You drive out of that driveway not knowing what's going to happen. And that's exactly why we are preparing for other things. So that's what I don't get about, people's kind of look at this. It's like insurance. All of the stuff, prepping, having water, having food, it's all insurance for your body, for you. You have insurance on everything else, your house, your car, your life, but not your body and your current life. It says the U.S. Air Force is looking for ways to better protect its B-2 Spirit boomers from a future electromagnetic pulse or EMP attack, according to a solicitation posted on the government's acquisition and awards website. It says Air Force Material Command last month requested a capabilities package and related proposals from companies able to produce technology that would help the B-2 withstand an EMP. Brian Brackens, spokesman for the command, confirmed to military.com. It says, while the request for information window has already closed, the Air Force is exploring the modernization option to increase its survivability. Do you like the wording they use there? To increase its survivability. It says the B-2 System Program Office is continuing modernization efforts on our current fleet to maintain our nuclear command, control, and communications, or NC3 capacities, Bracken said in an email. It says an EMP is a massive surge of energy, typically in the wake of a nuclear blast, can disrupt or destroy power systems. Some have warned that the U.S. is vulnerable to such an attack from China. Others say that it doesn't make sense to worry about an EMP since the accompanying nuclear attack would be the greater threat. That's kind of a dumb way to look at it. Like, oh, well, who cares because the nuke is going to kill you. Actually, the nuke it depends on the size, I guess. But the nuke is only going to kill a certain amount, then it's going to go, it has rings. And if you're outside those rings, fine. But guess what? If you're outside those rings, if they do it right, then all the power's out. Then your worry's not about, the explosion. It's actually about your power and how are you going to find food. After the first 2 or 3 days, all grocery stores will be empty. Shelves, there will be no continued trucking about of food and water and things like this. There will be no backup or there's not going to be another truck coming with resupplies. Because guess what? The people that drive those trucks, they're going to be at home or trying to bug out themselves. That's what I have to say. In Hurricane Katrina, which we have people in our audience like able-bodied that were there, they lived through martial law. In fact, she was at a hospital. She had a military contractor escort her to the hospital. That's how serious it was there. She saw a whole bunch of really scary stuff. We actually did a phone interview. It was amazing. But my point is, you are in a situation like that, you're going to go save your own people. In Hurricane Katrina, police and sheriffs, they left their posts. Not because they were cowards, because they thought of their own families and they realized they had a mother that was in, a nursing home that didn't have power, that was totally out, and people were, perishing at this nursing home. So what do? They tried to go save them first. And that's what's going to happen. And that might not be the right option. And you would say, oh, that's cowardly or this or that. But think about it. If you were working your job and you found out your whole family is different places in the city and you don't know what to do, what would you do? Most people would do their family first and then go back to work. So that is what is most likely going to happen. It says EMPs can also come from natural geomagnetic storms, which also would pose a threat to the boomer. It says in 2019, then President DT signed an executive order for U.S. agencies to craft a coordinated national resilience to electromagnetic pulses or attacks. The order called for additional research and development to address protection needs for crucial stakeholders who could be most affected by the threat, including the nation's power grid and military equipment and installations. So, don't have to tell you. Most of you that watch the show know for almost 2.5 years now, we have actually worked with Emp Shield. This is the same company that is not only getting contracted with DOD, DHS, and now officially on the DEMSO team helping them protect their grid. Of course, Emp Shield is also our partner. So make sure to check these guys out. I genuinely believe that if this happens, these guys will end up saving a lot of lives. What it does is it grounds the signal before it's able to fry your device. So there's not much more writing on the wall that somebody can slam you in the face with. Again, there's actually currently a contest. If you cannot afford one, I would highly recommend at least trying to go over and get into the contest, because these aren't cheap. These are actual devices that can protect against EMP, or at least protect your devices. Again, you can get one for your car, your house, your generator, But this is a real deal thing. And again, we've begged them to do contests every month, and they've done a lot. In this contest, again, the winner will be able to pick their kind of device. Of course, they make one for every kind of thing with a motor and an engine, with, electronics. So make sure to check it out. You can go to the contest at marfooglenews.com/contest, or you can get one at marfooglenews.com/EMP. But back to it, and this is one of the companies that is going out for this because they already have contracts. I am absolutely sure that they are, going to end up putting their name in the hat. This is a big deal, and it's becoming very clear that this is something that they're preparing for. So why don't we prepare? Why are civilians to the point where, why do we think that somebody else is going to save us? That's what I don't get. I get emails all the time saying, well, if this does happen, I would just wait for help. I would wait for, them to do it. I have enough food and water. I'll sit for 3 weeks and just let it fix itself. It's not going to be 3 weeks. It would be 9 months to 2 years. And they still think, even after that bill was signed in 2019, they still think that it is incredibly, incredibly vulnerable. So if they're putting B2s, we've just in the last 6 months, we've had at least 5 stories of them, grabbing things and saying, hey, we need protection on this. Why? Even now with the new administration, they're still doing it. So that says a lot. Let's see here. And Dex, I don't know if you want to add anything to this, because I know that this is actually probably one of the most important things out of the show. In the meantime, we'll be going to our first caller here. Remember, the number is 224-400-MARF if you want to call. We do have an open line. Derek is a first-time caller. Game camera caught an orb and his dog's reaction. And then we have Car Guitars Guy. Farmers selling out to farms, to solar farms. So weird. And then thank you, Rapture Soon. Okay, too much breakup. Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry you guys are having problems over on D-Live. Let me know on D-Live if it's okay. Now, Island by the Sea, thank you so much. Bear Claw, Stony Stone, UCMT. We've got Kimberly Clemens, Missing the Harmonica. Hi, much love, fam. And then we have CJ Hope, says hello all, and much love. Cindy Pillow, thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. Hey, mods and Foogle fam, Adam and Dex. Love this show. I'll use PayPal, thanks. Lisa K, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Say, yeah, thank you so much. Phil Billy, I appreciate you guys as well. All right, Dex, when you want to get Derek on, you can. And then...
Hey, Adam, I think we may be having a difficult time getting Derek on, so you want to go to the next call, and I'll get Derek back on the line, okay?
Sure, that's perfect. Steve, thank you for the live PayPal donation of $2. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Car Guy, is that what it is? Cars?
Yes, and we have Guitars Guy.
Cars Guitars Guy. I love it. Calling from Ohio. Now, what are you talking about? You have farmers selling out? What's going on?
Well, we have a guy on U.S. Route 68 in Ohio, in Claremont County, known as the Pink Barn. He literally painted his barn Barbie pink, and he used to grow hay, but he sold out to allow the solar companies to put solar panels on his property, and they're, oh my gosh, Marv, they are so big. Each solar panel is the size of a mobile home, and it stretches on for like 2 miles, and it's crazy. There's like solar panels for 2 miles straight down the road, and all these fields, they used to be hay, and I used to go there and bale hay for the guy, and a couple of years later, I got a real job, and this is what he turned it into. Oh my goodness!
Let me ask you this: so one thing I wonder is, so if they sell their land out to these solar things, you would think an idea would be that it's a good thing, right? Because they're doing solar power and solar energy. But what happens to the regular farmland? It almost makes me wonder because Gilly Bates bought all the farmland, right? It just recently came out that Windows 10 creator, Microsoft dude, has bought this just incredible amount of farm. He owns more farmland than any other billionaire. And of course, he bought all that farmland, and he's also the one that's pushing for this artificial meat. So I'm wondering, like, are they trying to buy out the farms? We're not actually going to have farms. We're going to have artificially created lab meat and lab fruit and lab veggies. And then, of course, real farmland won't even actually be used. It will be used for solar energy or something. I just wonder if that's what's going to happen.
Well, that crossed my mind, Marv. But my thing is if we get a giant snowstorm and all the snow covers up the solar panels, then we're going to turn out just like Texas.
Oh, what state are you in? You're in Ohio.
I'm in Ohio.
So, and that was the big thing with Texas, is because they had a lot of windmills that froze up, and they had solar that froze over. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. And for some reason, I wasn't remembering you're in Ohio. So, yeah, it seems like that would be a problem. How can they stop that?
I don't know. It's a really, really big solar farm, and they got a big fence with razor wire around it, and 2 white trucks with blinking yellow lights sit at the gate 24/7. And they got cops that are sitting there, and they helicoptered all this stuff in there. And I spoke to the neighbors because I just couldn't believe it. I was like, we're just going to go talk to the neighbors and see what's going on. It's kind of the thing we do over here. You can just talk to your neighbor, like, no matter where they're at in Ohio, and find out what's going on. And they said, yeah, for 1 month straight, their house rattled from helicopters bringing in equipment.
So I just found something online. It says the Farmland Owner's Guide to Solar Leasing. And I'm seeing I don't know if you can see the screen, but there's these huge panels. And of course, I'm guessing these helicopters were bringing in these panels or something, dropping them off, and then they place them out in these fields. And then what goes to,
right?
Where does this power go? Does it get distributed to you guys, or is that going to be your main source of power? Just kind of
like, I'm not sure yet. There's a bunch of guys on the ground, like electricians, when you drive by working on these things. And I'm like, well, maybe they're making individual heaters and individual air conditioning units for every one of them cows or something. And my buddy goes, nope, that's not what it is. And we talked about it, and it's like, yeah, because one of them solar panels, because it's so big, could power like 3 houses.
Sorry about that, guys, by the way. I accidentally did my intro. Okay, so another thing, just real quick, is what if they're doing this because they are going back to what I said before? Do you think that they might be possibly preparing to have solar power instead of to build more power sources that are protected EMP wise? I just wonder. Yeah,
I mean, that would seem pretty liable to have more than one power source, because how many power plants do we have in the United States? And how vulnerable would it be to drop just hypothetically, like not by the numbers, let's just say we have 12 power plants around the United States. If 3 of them go down, that's 25% of the United States losing power.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think that they're obviously doing something about it, but I just wonder if this is a good thing or if this is not a good thing. I guess anybody can put their opinion in the chat. Well, thanks for calling in and letting me know. Of course, if you can maybe even do like a drive-by little kind of video of how long it goes for, post it on Twitter or something, and we'll show it here on the show. It sounds like it is quite a drive.
Yeah, it stretches on for a whole mile, and the field is like not far as the eye can see, but it's probably about 5 or 6 acres plus along the road of solar panels.
That is pretty insane. Well, Cars Guitars guy, I appreciate your call and thank you for the heads up. If you have something in common with Cars Guitar guy, let us know. If you see this happening in your state out of nowhere and see crazy black helicopters bringing in solar panels, and please let us know. Thank you, Cars guy. I really do appreciate your call, and it's your first time call. Don't make it your last, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's not surprising to me. I just wonder if this is because of the whole, save the world thing, or is this something else? That is my curiosity here. And then, of course, we have days before blackouts. One Texas power giant sounded the alarm. It says at a Vista Corp, one of the largest power generators in Texas, said that it warned state agency days before the cascading blackouts plunged millions into darkness that internal forecasts showed electricity demand was expected to exceed supply. It says, despite the warning, the coordination and planning by authorities across the border energy sector were seemingly disproportionate to the severity of the situation. Vistra said that in an emailed statement late Sunday, the company didn't identify which state entities it contacted. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas is the state grid operator. It says, well, the Texas Public Utility Commission regulates power generators. So this is so this basically says they knew it was going to be bad and they didn't do anything about it. This is what we are all about here in the U.S., and I don't know where you're watching from, but there are places like Japan that are very proactive. If they think that an earthquake may take out their grandchildren, they'll write a check and they'll fix it and say, well, it's not going to do anything for us, but it will do something for our grandkids, and they'll do it. Here, there's Cascadia subduction zone and other earthquakes that are going to take out millions, and they don't do anything about it. They'll do the bare minimum because it hasn't happened yet. Same with this. It's like, they're only going to react. This is exactly why a lot of us that prep and do other things, this is why we tell you to prep, because they're not going to do anything until after the bad thing happens to you. They're not going to do anything proactive to stop whatever's going to happen to you to happen. What they're going to do is they're going to come pick you up off the roof after it has happened. They'll fix that dam, or they'll put the $10 billion in remodeling into that dam, last minute. Or if they don't do it in time, you're sitting in a flooded city, right? But they'll react, and then they'll put billions of dollars to clean up the mess. It doesn't make any sense. But this is how these companies think. It's how a lot of small companies think. It's how landlords think, for God's sake. I used to have a landlord that wouldn't fix anything until he absolutely had to, and even then, he would find a cheap alternative. I mean, you're talking about, slumlord status. If you, if you ever had a slumlord and you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments below. Dan L. Values, thank you, says, I like my e-deck bag. I like mine too. I put my phone in it whenever I go anywhere. Christian Moore, we must not get mad if someone can't run. Rather teach them to walk first. They will learn. Bless all fam, mods, Dex, Marf. Together we stand. Much love. Christian Moore, thank you so much. Much love, Adam Dex, Foogle fam, says RE55. Shout out to Shastina, Barefoot Last, Diane Lively, Rip Curl, Tinfoil Hat, Robert Ellis. Nice. Old school. Jojo123, Channel Jammer, Joyce Chivis, Rockin' Robin, Brian Knight, and Jay Leno Car Garage. And Adam Manning. Awesome. Account manager, thank you so much again for your support from Canada. And Liz LaMarche, like we should do digital shutdowns at home so it's not as tragic when it happens. Kids will flip. Thanks, Adam, Dex, and Mod. You are appreciated. I was just talking to my 14-year-old's mom, and our 14-year-old is addicted to cell phones and to electronics. Just think about how unprepared this next generation is for no electricity. If that ever happens, if there's ever a situation where there's no electricity or, no communications, no cell phones, no internet, think about how this next generation is being set up for that. I mean, they're going to be lemmings. It's horrible. I don't even know how they're going to survive. If they can't Google what to eat, then they're going to die. I mean, that's how serious it is. Amanda Kelly just wanted to show our support. I do have a question for you, and how do I contact you? Sorry, it's not much, but every little bit counts. Oh, no, that's perfectly fine, Amanda. Contact me at adam@marfooglenews.com or get me on Twitter at Marfoogle. But thank you for asking, and thank you for your support. What do you guys think? Now, check this out. Pranksters show how horrifying Boston Dynamics police robot dog is by strapping a paintball gun to it. Yes, these things are already kind of scarily just creepy out of a Japanese horror film. But it says that they're letting the internet control it, and Boston Dynamics is furious. It says the internet will get the chance to remotely control one of Boston Dynamics' $75,000 quote, Spot robots this week thanks to a mysterious startup company. Not only that, the robot will even come equipped with a paintball gun for added mayhem. So some startup company, I'm assuming under some sort of, a publicity stunt, is going to have somebody randomly control this from the internet and even be able to fire from it. It says the campaign, dubbed Spots Rampage, is the brainchild of MSCHF, a New York-based company known for its outrageous publicity stunts and product drops. MSCHF has repeatedly made headlines for offering up bizarre, one-of-a-kind items, including holy water-filled sneakers. I remember that. We covered that. Dex, do you remember that? Holy water-filled sneakers. And I think they were Yeezys or something. And then toaster-shaped bath bombs. I don't remember that. It says no two campaigns from the company are ever alike, and its latest effort may be the most over-the-top to date. So they spent $75,000 on the actual device, and Boston Dynamics, who designed it, is not happy about it because obviously it gives this thing a reputation. First of all, they probably didn't want them to put some sort of any kind of weapon on the thing. It says the goal of Spot's Rampage appears to be nothing more than a little chaos and perhaps to raise questions about the potential misuse of robots in the future. Yeah, that's scary. Okay, so then they put it next to some fake money, apparently. Oh my goodness. But one thing that I would pull out of this is that if you see what is going to end up happening, is this puts it in everybody's head. And this is probably why Boston Dynamics doesn't want it to be out there. It's like this is going to show people that these, what they're used for in conflict and the military use, they're going to have weapons on them. They're going to have, they're going to be the front line. They're going to go ahead. They're going to sneak into houses, and you've seen it. They have actual arms that come out, open up doors, go in, and they can do it silently now. Some of the newer videos shows how their rubber feet can literally be like Metal Gear Solid and go in silently. They even have them set up, and I saw this thing where basically they're making them smart to where in this one situation the door started to creak. So then the second arm, now they're adding 3 and 4 arms. The second arm ended up spraying it with WD-40 so it wouldn't squeak. Like this is like over-the-top stuff. But this is the world that we're going to live in now. And once they get it to a certain point, we're going to have these on the streets. This is going to be something you're going to see. Pretty insane if you ask me. Lisa K23, last year at the fair, all saying no, hey, in Ohio. That's a weird thought. So the fair before, CV and everything, we have the Puyallup Fair here. Yeah, I didn't think about that. There's tons of hay there. I wonder if all the hay farmers are selling out for that. Kimberly Clemens, didn't Gilly Bates buy a bunch of trainways too? Didn't he buy a bunch of trainways too? Yeah. Transportation. It's getting hard to find hay for your horses, says Lisa K23. Isn't that weird? Why? I wonder why hay would be a big thing. Why? I wonder what other uses it may have. Get in your call now at 224400 Marf if you want to call in. Again, there is a line open. FAA, this is huge. So this really sucks. If you are a drone operator, this sucks. And I've known about it. I'm an avid drone operator, and I hate this. I cannot believe they're doing this. FAA releases remote ID, the largest regulatory change in drones in years. Basically, in my opinion, this is going to take out a ton of the hobbyists. This is just going to, this sucks. Droning is something that people are going to remember and go, oh, there were a couple years there where we could actually just go and fly. It was such a cool thing. And now, I understand their positive purpose for this, but man, I'm telling you, I don't even think I know of a single instance where something went down, right? I wonder how many instances where there actually was, people that perished because of a drone hitting a plane or something like that. In fact, I might even Google it here in a second. Let's see here. Close this thing. I don't want to inspect you. It says the Federal Aviation Administration recently released its remote ID ruling for drones, which will require drones to broadcast their location as they fly. The purpose behind the new regulation is to make airspace safer and allow for more complex operations in the future. When the FAA first proposed remote ID in 2019, there was considerable criticism from the drone community. In its initial proposal, the FAA required drones to maintain an internet connection, which not only made expensive monthly fees inevitable, but would also prevented drones from flying in remote locations without access to cell phone towers, which is where you go droning. It's stupid. Like, when you are droning, you drone for nature shots and for mountain shots and for sunset shots. Like, that's what I use it for. And that, and the occasional put it up and show the location. But I think this is the just crappiest move. They could have done something different. This is just it's crappy. It's going to make it so much harder to go out in the woods and actually do this. Like at my cabin, you can't do this. There's no cell phone, no kind of reception, no nothing. So wouldn't be able to go up under these rules. What do you think about it? Are you a drone operator, and does this bother you? Put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to read the rest of this article, it is available on marfooglenews.com. I think that it is definitely a good read there, especially if you actually do drone. But another thing too, certain preppers have had drones, and they, when drone technology came out, it was kind of a great thing, because think about it. If stuff did hit the fan and you were able to put up a drone and see your surroundings, that's kind of a big deal. Or of something where you see a fire burning a couple miles away, and you're out in the sticks, and you want to know who's on your property. You put that drone up. You don't go out there and risk your life. There's a lot of other uses for it too. You can fish with a drone. I don't know if you knew that, but you can fly it over water with special hook thing that actually grabs and gets the fish, and it will actually catch fish. It's a whole sport now. There's a lot of really positive things that go into it, but man, just really sucks. Speaking of something that sucks, cyber criminals suck. So protect yourself against it. Make sure to check out NordVPN. It's a virtual private network. What a virtual private network does is it hides your IP address. Your IP address is your computer's address, and it correlates with your real address. So if you're online a lot, make sure that you have a virtual private network or a shield of some sort between you and the bad guys. It also prevents data logging, and it protects your data while you're traveling and in public. So if you're using, say, Wi-Fi at Starbucks, you can actually put this on your cell phone, your tablets. You can put it on 6 devices at once and protect all of them, and use Wi-Fi and not worry about it. So go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. You will end up helping the channel. This is actually really affordable, so make sure to check this out again. If there's no other way that you want to support the show, this would be the great one, and you save money. All right. Let's get on with the next caller. I don't know if we have Derek back, but we do have... Okay, hold on one sec. By the way, Christian Moore, thanks again. See here. All right, Derek, are you back?
I am. Thank you.
And again, just to remind Derek before you start, 224-400-MARF, that is the number to call. All right, Derek, what is going on? And what is the video I'm about to pull up?
Well, the video kind of has a story tied behind it, but it's a video of my trail cam that I had borrowed from a neighbor to catch some mischief that was going on in the end of my driveway. And it ended up picking up this orb, and I didn't find the pictures until this recent cold blast when I got really bored, and there's like 7,000 pictures on there. So I started digging through them and came across those photos. There was a complaint about the time those photos were taken, that I was gone on assignment. My wife was home with the kids, and it's really rural. There's the closest neighbor is 1.5 miles. And she had complained to me that at night she got freaked out because one side of the house, the windows, it was daylight outside, and the other side it was dark because it was like 2:30 in the morning. And she didn't know what to think of it, or I just kind of blew it off as a kid with a flashlight outside or something. And these photos here could lead to what actually that could have been.
Okay, so it's about a 3-minute video, so I'll just leave it playing. So far, we're at 47 seconds.
The 2-minute mark is where I actually get to the photos skimming through.
Okay, let's see here. I'll just get us closer here. All right, and then I'm going to turn on the sound. If you could just mute for, or just don't talk for 1 second, if you could.
Okay, here we are.
Copy.
I believe it starts at around it's in the 3:25 a.m. time frame, so we'll start here. Aha, bingo. If you watch the dog, it kind of verifies there's something weird definitely going on.
Whoa.
I'll back up to where this starts here. We're at
Oh my gosh, you disappeared.
24. There she shows up. And she's barking away. She's not happy about something. You know, out here in this neck of the woods, you can see the Milky Way on an overcast night. So this orb shows.
Whoa.
Hello, YouTube.
Wait a second. Okay, whoa. Sorry, I screwed that up. That is
here.
It's super creepy because the dog, you can see that it's barking. You can actually see that it's barking at something. So before I go back to that shot again, did you say your friend said they saw a flashlight? Is that what they thought it was?
Well, it was my wife that called me. I was gone on assignment, and she told me the next morning she wanted to call, but it was so late at night. She knew I had just got off a 16-hour shift, and so yeah, she didn't call me, but she did tell me that following morning that they were all flipped out and scared that night because one side of the house out the windows was just daylight, and the other side out the windows was dark like it was supposed to be, and it freaked them out. And this, like I said, I changed the batteries before I left, so the date was wrong. It on the files, it was like 1/1/2012 or something. So I can't verify the date of the photo the way I should have if I would have reset the time and date when I changed the battery.
So how much time did this cover, by the way? You can see the dog barking at it.
The timestamp is in the video at the bottom as it plays.
So I'm just wondering from
the timestamps of
the first time that it showed up to the last second. Let's see. Do you know how long it was there? Whoa, it's back there.
Yeah, it shows up further at the end of the video there. We're on the hillside back. You can see it kind of float around a little bit, and then where it comes back and kind of does the repeat, but in the opposite direction, I flipped backwards. It wasn't its movement. I was flipping backwards through it again. So if you watch the timestamp, you can kind of get an idea where I'm going with the arrow key.
Yeah, no, that's what I figured, because it did the exact opposite. So look, see, it goes like this. The dog is barking at something right here. That is so genuinely creepy. The dog is looking right at it. And then looks at the camera.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was worthy sharing.
And you said your nearest neighbor is a long distance away. It looks like this is out in the boonies.
Yes, it is. It's out in southern Colorado and out in the sticks, down a well road, not even a county road.
You actually see it 2 more times. Did you notice?
Yeah, I don't know what those things that show up in there, but I think those might be bugs closer to the camera.
I'm pretty sure that was a light. So you see this one at first, and then, of course, then you reverse it. You go back through. You do it there. I mean, there's one shot where the dog is looking at it, and then back here over to the left top corner. And then it looks like over on the right side of the tree right here it pops up.
Yeah, if you want to get a perspective, in the very beginning of the video, I started with a daylight photo of where the trail cam was positioned.
See this? Look at this, Foogles. Look at that. That's weird. That is genuinely creepy.
Right.
The dog makes this. The dog makes it too, because the dog looks directly at it, and then you can tell it's scared barking, like, or excited barking, like. Arr! Oh.
Well, it's not just that, but in the timestamp, she moves around her head, but that goes on for like a minute or so. But she does not budge the entire time. She stands right there.
Oh,
her name's Dot.
Oh, that's even creepier. Yeah, you're right. The head looks back at the camera, and then looks at the object. I don't know if you guys look at that shot. I wonder if hold on. I just noticed something. I wonder. I hope that the corner is not. Oh no. Okay, guys, really pay attention to this one, because I'm going to shrink this real quick, just so you guys can. I make sure you guys see that top corner one. Let's see. Oh shoot. Let me do something real quick. Okay, so you should be able to see the top corner one. I just realized I framed my... so there's that. And then up in the upper left-hand corner, it pops up right here. If you can see my mouse there. And then there, up in the upper left-hand corner. And it does a weird kind of V. And then I don't know if he's saying he can't verify the top one, but there's one right here. Well, great video submission. Again, great video. Thank you for sending it in. It says, thanks that make you go, is the video. I'm going to show your channel, and then we're going to connect this so people can see it.
Thank you. It's only my second video, so.
Oh, no problem. Well, hey, thank you for thank you for calling, and sorry about the phone issues. I don't know what happened there, but I'm glad we got you on, and I'm glad we got your video together. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. God bless, Foogle fam.
All right. God bless you as well. Thank you so much, Derek. That was Derek. And if you want to watch that video for yourself and go frame by frame, if you would like, you can go to marfooglenews.com. In just a few minutes, it will be there live. It will actually be on the website, available for you. And then Bear Claws, Johnny Doom, Mercer 1, Awake 2, Hexagonal Peach, thank you for the lemons. Jem, thank you for the lemons. Hearth Truths. Wow. Truth Hurts. And then Mystic Misfit, Ears Up. We've got Onyx Sun, thank you so much. Jen, Wisconsin, Life is Better on Stilts. Ears Up. Shan Penn 777, thank you for following. Welcome to the Foogle fam. Make sure to welcome people like Shan Penn. And if you see anybody new, make sure to pop in and say hi. And in general, going over to the main chat, thank you for sharing, says Island by the Sea. Yes, lots of loves and treats for Dot. That's awesome. Tongue Twisters LOL, Hexagonal Peach says. They don't want none. You all see my name. Thank you, new followers. Team Ramrod, thanks for saying hi to him. Adams Patch, thank you so much as well. Claudia Kabat, that is awesome. All right. Getting on with the news, we have much, much more. Let's see here. Airbus encountered unidentified fast-moving cylindrical object over New Mexico. It says the event, the pilot's reaction to it, are remarkably similar to the one that occurred in the same general area just a few years ago. It says American Airlines Flight 2292, an Airbus A320 flying between Cincinnati and Phoenix, had a bizarre close encounter with what crew described as, quote, a long cylindrical object that almost looked like a cruise missile, moving extremely fast over the top of the aircraft. As it cruised along at 36,000 feet and 40 knots, 400 knots, that's really fast. The incident occurred over the remote northwest corner of New Mexico, to the west of the tiny town of Des Moines. Dex, I don't know if you remember, but we had a caller with that cylindrical. Was that Ari? I'm wondering if that was Ari55 that sent in the video, or was that Dub J? I think it was Dub J.
Yeah, we have somebody that it's called a few times from New Mexico. I don't know if it was Dub J, but yeah, we've definitely heard, and I think we've seen different types of, and there's even been reports of those cigar-shaped UFOs, and I would think that might even fit this description, don't you think?
Most definitely, and if you're watching, do you remember just a couple shows ago where we had the video, viewer submitted video, and it looks like this in the video.
Oh yeah, that definitely looked like it. You're right. That was just Friday we showed that video.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to. We're on our web. This is what's cool. So if we have a question like, oh, we saw something on your show, Marf, you can go back to the website. You can click on. So we know that it was on TV. We click on TV, and then it shows the previous episodes. Then we can actually go by thumbnail, and we go, oh, I think it was the one with the second wave. I want to see the end. What if it's not a what if? Was that it? Was that the last show? I think it was.
Yes.
February 19th. So we go to this one, Apophis, and then watch how easy this is. We archive every video, tweet, and everything. So then a month later, you can go back.
Just don't say the title. Remember, it got on his own video. It's the one that has the flag on it.
Oh, yeah. Because yep.
We learned something new.
Isn't it funny? We just said the title of his video, and they ended up putting a Wikipedia. And we actually we caught that early. Okay, so caller info. No way. Okay, that one. Look, videos that we showed you here are already age restricted. And then this one. What? No way. That video is the one. That is so weird. It's already age restricted. Let's see here. No, here we go. I found it. This one. Check this one out. So, if you watch here and say, this is exactly what I was talking about, and actually, that was a perfect timing. I just had to fix a cord, which none of you saw. Look at that. So, the more he zooms in, you can see, or at least this is what I feel I see, is a flat object, almost like a Frisbee. And it's got that trail behind it. I just think that is pretty weird. Maybe I center it, and then... So these are being seen all over the place. We've seen the whole cigar shape thing, but now people are, literally describing it as like a little flat object. So we're seeing this more and more being reported. It's just funny. If you want to see that video and more, actually, all of our Friday Unidentified shows have viewers just like you send in your videos. Thank you for the support, Desert Ghost. Thank you for everybody that's supporting us. We are independent. We do not have a multi-channel network. We do not have back, and right now we are trying to build a new platform to replace our Discord, which was wrongfully taken down, which we had 15,000 people meeting in state groups all over the country. So thank you, everybody that is putting towards that. I really do appreciate all of you. And then it's just not the same. I really miss the Discord. And then RE55, again, thank you for also being a big part of that Friday show. You did some really great videos. Giants are real, says I am GD, word oh God. Bones, LOD will. Cigar from Cuba. Yes, it's a Cubanese. Apparently illegal, too. Peaceful Waters, it is very nice to see you. Thank you so much. And thank you again for reaching out and trying to help with my brother-in-law. That was amazing. I never forget the people that try to help me, so thank you. So Steve Douglas, again, an experienced radio interceptor and the proprietor of Deep Black Horizon, told the Warzone that he was recording from his arsenal of scanners when he heard this strange transmission. It says the Warzone has reviewed over an hour of audio that Douglas has provided to us from before and after the strange radio call. We are working to authenticate it from the FAA to get further information to comment from the agency. So it actually kind of does the back and forth. And it shows you what their sighting was and what they said on the radio clip. So pretty interesting. You can go over to marfooglenews.com and read the rest and read the transcript. And then we have second earthquake this month. Rattles. Let's see here. Hold on. This is why. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you being a naughty Nancy? There we go. Second earthquake this month rattles Tennessee-North Carolina border, geologists say. An earthquake rattled the Tennessee-North Carolina border over the weekend, becoming the latest tremor to hit the region this month. Earthquakes in various places. That's all I've got to say about that. Says it was just after midnight Sunday when the most recent quake shook the ground near Banner Hill, Tennessee. According to the USGS, officials said that the 2.4 magnitude tremor was less than a mile deep. Now, people are like, oh, it's a 2.4, who cares? It's because it's in Tennessee. That's why people care. In North Carolina, they don't get these kind of things. So obviously, we're seeing a lot more seismic operations. I'm just gonna stop while I'm ahead. Seismic activity. Thank you. And then, of course, Watchdog questions legality of using cell phone data without warrants. I have talked about this a bunch, and many people like myself have been warning people for years that you need to look at what you have in your hand. Those cell phones are now adding more and more things that are not only tracking, tracing, and listening to you, but they can also get you in trouble. And trust me, I think there will. I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that somebody has been wrongfully jailed because of a cell phone already. Dex, you can pop in since you are my tech guy. But we have covered so many different facets of how cell phones are tracking, tracing, and everything else. Again, this is a really scary subject for some, and doesn't even show up on the radar for others, and I don't understand that. Most people are so used to their cell phones that they just, we just kind of put up with it. It says law enforcement agencies may be on shaky legal ground when purchasing cell phone location data without a warrant, according to a new Treasury Department Watchdog report. It says the agency's inspector general said that in a report reviewing the Internal Revenue Service's use of a commercial platform Ventrol to track devices, that a 2018 Supreme Court case may block warrantless tracking using data from apps. It says the Carpenter versus United States case holds that warrants must be obtained by law enforcement to get data from wireless carriers, and many government lawyers have argued that it does not apply to GPS data taken from apps.
Exactly.
So if they go, oh well, where did your TikTok say that you went? That's legal. I can grab that, can't I? Is that right?
Yep. Any of these apps that you have that have access to, and that's why personally, I use an iPhone, so I don't know what happens on the Android side, but I noticed that a lot of the location information is trying to be surfaced from a privacy point of view, so that you can see now which of these apps are actually tracking you. At least that's from Apple's position. They're trying to do that, but it's amazing when you look and see, oh my gosh, how many of these apps are actually monitoring your GPS location. Now, there's certain apps that make sense, like a map, or I've got this app called, it's like Life something, where you can, your family and kids can be on it, and you can know where everybody is, and it can let you know if somebody gets into a car crash. Now, that is tracking every single place you go. So I know I'm doing that. I opted into that for my kids. But, you could turn around and there's 4 other apps that are tracking your location, and all of that data, they're trying to say, hey, we can get to that without a warrant. We can get to that because the app provider was willing to give us that. We don't have to abide by these rules, where we have to go into the mobile carrier to get mobile data, like because, where your triangulation is. Right?
And that's because you gave permission to the app provider, and then that app provider went above the warrant and said, oh, you can have it. Is that right?
Yeah, they say we comply to share data with law enforcement. It doesn't say we only do it under a judge ordered warrant, right? And that's where all of a sudden your data can be gone. And there's other apps that can do this too. But, it's amazing how many apps are actually tracking your location.
And a lot of them. I mean, one of the craziest ones, so if you own a Mavic or a DJI product, DJI has been accused, and it's funny because I have actually done the least droning in the last year since all this stuff has come out. Plus, it's just, it takes time to go out and do it, right? But I have noticed that the DJI is one of the only apps that says, basically now, some of the other apps, it basically tells you when something is trying to grab your data. And it also tells you when something in the background is using power. I noticed that DJI was using a huge amount of power. And it was grabbing my location, and I was getting notifications, and I'm like, why is it still grabbing? I haven't used the drone in 4 months. Why is it grabbing my location right now? And I didn't have the app open. It wasn't minimized. It was just in the background grabbing my location. Think about that. The app is not minimized. It's not in another tab. It's not in my, my carousel, and it's still grabbing location. That's creepy. And now that they're being accused of being tied to the Chinese government, and all of that video data that was coming wirelessly to your phone and then goes out through the internet and through all of this, that information, that video data may have been all compiled by a Chinese mainframe. So they have every square inch of our country that anybody who flew a drone, which are millions of drone flyers, all of that's in their database. So they not only have a physical map, they have a digital map because they just hacked us, or possibly hacked us. Should say that they supposedly may have been part of possibly hacking us. But yeah, they hacked us. And this whole thing is just super creepy. Now they're going to be able to say, hey, you were at a 7-Eleven at the same time as a murder because you were there 5 minutes before. You got a, let's say, some Twinkies, a Danny's jerky stick, a Slurpee, some of those little fudge cups, and then, I love Skittles. Wait, what are we doing here again? Oh, so say you're getting those things, and then all of a sudden you've gotten taken in by the police, and they say, "Hey, a murder happened, and you were placed at the scene." This is called what is it called? It's a geo warrant.
Geofence warrant.
Geofence warrant. And this is something that's going to come commonplace now, and just watch.
So the first thing I would tell people to do is check your preferences. Like, you have the option on many of these phones to turn off the tracking on some of these apps. So make sure only the ones you want to use it have access to it. Like a map would need it, right? The map won't work unless you have GPS. But, if you don't want, say Twitter tracking every place you're going, then turn that off. And then the next best thing because you never know if it works. When you turn it off, you think it's off. But as we've seen, Adam, a lot of times you turn these things off and they still track somehow. They still find a way. The only other way to do it is to literally turn the phone all the way off or completely block the signal.
And the why I don't know if anybody caught it, but when he was saying, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but Apple is trying to. The reason I rolled my eyes is because Dex jocks Apple. He's such an Apple fan. It's this ecosystem and blah, blah, blah. I think Apple is just as bad. I think that they are doing a really good job of making people think that they are not tracking and that they're showing you all this. Basically, they're screwing other companies, but I think they're secretly worse than everybody else, and they're just, basically letting everybody else know that all these other companies are doing it. Do you know what I mean, Dex? Like,
yeah, I totally get it.
They're calling out everybody else.
In my opinion, they're the lesser of the two bads, right? You can pick one or the other. I think one, on one hand, you just know you're getting, put over a barrel when it comes to the G company. And on the other side, you just pay a little bit more, but you got maybe a better chance of not completely being giving up all your privacy and having some control over it. I got to applaud them when they fought the FBI and fought others to not give up backdoor codes to unlock phones, because they said they're just not going to do that. So, on some hands they do the right things, and then sometimes they don't, right?
But didn't they end up getting the codes anyways?
No, they got it because they hacked it. They didn't get it from Apple. Apple wouldn't give it to them.
That's right. And one thing, so the company that rhymes with poodle and acts like something that comes out of a poodle, that company, that's really extreme. And what I see a lot of preppers that are like super extreme, but then they'll use maps, right? They'll use maps to get where they're going. I'm like, wait, I'm sitting in their car going, then why are you using that app? It's tracking everywhere you go, even if you have to set it to where it saves that. You can click a box. I don't think you can click any box. Just like your phones now, it doesn't matter what phone, Android or Apple, they updated that the health setting in Apple. If you go to your Apple, you can go to health and safety, and there's an option now there for CV19. That's a big deal. Now it has the option where you click it and it will show you anybody else who has come in contact with somebody with CV. Think about where this is going, people. And if you're not awake yet, the alarm is going to be very loud. Dan L. Values, thank you, and thank you. Let's just go over and say hi. Thank you so much, Old Chunk of Coal, Amy Ray, Moody Mom. The truth is out there. Thank you, Charissa, Bawmaster, and Reverend Josie Wales. So what do you all think about this? Do you think that we are going to be massively tracked if we continue to evolve with cell phones? I'm going to go to just the main chat. What do you think is worse? Cell phones tracking you or other devices tracking you? Smart devices, 5G. Oh, I just said the big one. Grand Maravan, make sure that you have an E-deck or sleeve for any chipped. I was going to show that at the very end, but if you do want to actually block all this stuff, you can get an E-deck bag or something like it. It's basically a Faraday bag, but you can possibly even make one. I don't know. You might be able to make something that could do a similar thing. Nathan Bryan, thank you. CJ Blaze, thanks for showing up tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that. Deplorable Canadian, Wonder Woman 0303. Oh, and another thing. So to mods or to anybody out there, one thing too, I wish you guys would all start a D-Live channel, because if you do a D-Live channel, then we can end up not only hosting you, but supporting you. It's very easy to support other creators inside the D-Live ecosphere. It's actually really easy. So make sure to start a channel over on D-Live. And especially if you are live after the show, or if you're just a regular creator, tweet us your link at the end of the show. Maybe I'll start checking it. Because I look for people to host after the show, and I can only see the first page, and there's always like the same 2 or 3 people. I would love to host somebody who deserves it in a small channel, but I'm not going to host, somebody playing GTA or something. I don't want to be tracked by anything, says Awake 2. I don't either. Exactly. Why are we tracked by everything? Why are we tracked by every single thing we do? It pisses me off. Does it piss you guys off? I don't know. It's just annoying. We have Peggy, a first-time caller. Strange beam of light. And we've got a video to go with it. Peggy, what's going on?
Hi there, Adam.
Hi, Peggy. So what are we looking at here?
One of my friends that lives in Southern Oregon called me, and she said, I just had something really strange happen to me. I was outside taking pictures of my dog, and a beam of light came down, and I just snapped a picture. I don't know. I don't think it was there very long because it disappeared pretty quick. But she was able to have enough sense to take it as she saw it. And she says, I I can't figure out what my dog is looking at. And I said, well, maybe he's seeing the reflection on your shed, you know. But it's kind of strange. Well, I have no clue what it is.
Well, the first thing I would think is a lens flare, but I don't know what camera this is from. I've never seen a lens flare that's that skinny.
Well, she saw the beam, and then she took the picture of the beam.
And at that point, it comes down to like her word. I try to always do the benefit of the doubt. The first thing that came to mind, if somebody truly saw this in their yard, I would almost think that, you know, some sort of space laser was misguided or something. I don't know. I do believe that they have weird laser things coming down on us from up in space. Where is your friend located? But the dog is in front of it. It looks like the laser's behind.
Exactly. That he was looking towards the shed, and if you see, there's a slight brightness to the foundation of that shed. And I thought that maybe that's what drew his attention to the beam flash. That she lives down just out in the country between Medford and Ashland, and it was just shortly after all those fires. They were rushed out of their home.
I get what you're saying here. Yeah, that's can somebody repeat that? Could somebody try to do this with a camera of any kind? Could you find out? Maybe message me later if she took it with her phone if she took it with a camera.
She saw the beam. She saw the beam and took a picture of the beam.
I know. I'm trying to prove it, though. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to prove it. If she took it with a certain kind of camera, or because I believe you. Of course. I at this point, nothing would surprise me. Where is the beam coming from, and how would it be produced? And to naysayers, how would you create that? Because I've never seen a flare like that. That's super weird. Is it like a weird rainbow phenomenon? Like if this was a big picture and it was seen by 1,000 people, then all of a sudden you would have MSM go, well, we talked to scientists and they say it's a rare phenomenon called sun doggy head a shiny thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's unexplainable. And it scared her. She goes, and so she sent me the picture immediately. I did send it on to you and to Dex, but it just so happened to be the first part of August, and you were pretty busy having your new son.
Yeah.
So it never got through.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's really weird. I've never seen such a crazy... I believe you... I'm wondering, somebody said in the chat, can it be repeated? I don't know. I've never seen something like that.
The beam came, we took a picture, and it left, and she just had the foresight to snap the picture while she was out photographing her dog.
Well, was this with smoke in the air? Was there any chance that that a tree covered up everything, but there was, smoke particles in there, and then the sun just happened to be peeking through a cloud on the top of her and shine through smoke? I mean, like, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks after the fires, after everything had calmed down, but they still had black soot on the side of their home. That's how close the fire came to their house.
It almost curves. It curves. Did you notice that?
My camera probably doesn't show as clear as yours.
Yeah,
but it came. You can see the tree branches through it. It fades off to nothing. It didn't capture it ending anywhere. It just kind of faded away.
That is weird. And why? What would a flare? You can still see it, but what? Yeah, I don't get that. Unless there was something on the sensor, or that's why I'm just. It's weird, right here. You can see the dirt. You can see it all the way down to the very bottom. Well, what a weird photo. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, she was scared, and she said, "I don't know what just happened, but I happened to take a picture of it while I was standing there looking at it."
Well, Peggy, awesome photo, and again, I'm sure there's. Again, we're going to share this, and then people will be able to go look at it. Maybe by next show, somebody will be able to answer what it is. Or if you think you know the answer, how this possibly happened, then put it in the comments below. Well, Peggy, thank you for calling. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Nope, just keep doing what you're doing.
All right.
Love you guys.
Well, thank you so much. Have a good night, Peggy.
You too. Bye.
And then Dan L. Values. Let's see here. Somebody said next. Make sure to. I didn't see their name. Just give them a 5-minute timeout for that. Okay. Vinny V, aka OMG Reels, and it's nothing personal. We just don't say that to the callers. If you were calling in, I would hope that you have 5,000 friends next to you, and if one of them doesn't like what you're saying, then it'd probably feel like crap if somebody said next. All right, thank you, Peggy. I appreciate your call. Appreciate every single person in my audience, and I mean that. Okay. Speaking of which, Pam, I hope you're good. I hope, Susan, I hope you're good too as well. I hope you guys are all having a good day. Susan Donahue, thank you so much for your massive support. And thank you if you're watching the replay. We miss you, and thank you. And then End Times, and of course, Kelly2334, thank you so much for being here for almost 3 years here. So thank you. Okay. Johnny Doom, thanks. And then Unholy Yeezus. What a screen name there. Thank you for joining. And then it looks like Osmu, thank you for following. I appreciate you. Okay, let's go to the next call. We have Vinny V. And then, of course, going back to our subject before, we actually have an affiliate that does a product, eDeck. These are the bags. You can actually put your phone, keys, anything inside of them, and then it's off grid. Whatever you put in there is not going to send signals out or in. They have different size bags. We should do a video with the smaller size bag, because the small bags are cool because it can fit in your pocket, and it can protect your keys from. You can actually get a little EMP proof key fob thing. All right, Dex, let's get Vinny V on.
And Vinny V, you are now live.
Hey, how you doing, Marf? How you doing, Foogle fam?
Hey, you are one of my OG viewers. Are you not?
OG viewers? What? What do you mean?
Original gangster. You've been around a long time.
Yeah, I've been here a while.
You've been here so long, you don't even know what OG means.
I'm old school, man. I don't know what to tell you.
So, Vinny, I don't even know. It's been probably a year since I talked to you, but I remember you, and I remember you since I first started. I don't know what your first show was, but you've been around a long time. So what's going on tonight?
Yeah. No, actually, I called in, I called in a few weeks back when you were talking about the airport in Cedar Rapids.
Oh, nice.
Or in Iowa.
That's right. We had a lot of
them. Yeah, and I had the OMG page. But I wanted to call because when you were talking about, the whole grid deal in Texas there last week, I was checking out chat, and somebody in chat was talking about how they knew someone in the Chinese military, and saying that they had, well, you know that installation in Alaska.
HAARP.
Yeah, that one. They had hacked that and got plans of their own and built one. And the whole thing that happened with Texas was orchestrated. And that they planned to infiltrate and attack soon. They just want to weaken our infrastructure a little more.
I'll show people on screen what you're talking about so they understand. This is High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, which is weird. The acronym is actually a filter word.
High altitude auroral research, isn't it? Well, it's active.
Whatever
maybe they changed it.
Maybe
yeah.
Well, or it's a Mandela effect.
That could be too. I don't know.
It's and it whatever the acronym itself you can't say, but you can say what it actually is. Isn't that funny? Yeah. And if people don't understand what this is, it very well could be modification of everything that is above ground and under space.
Well, that was just the first one. I mean, they have many of them now, and they're like, they have them. I've seen two personally on ships in the ocean, and one in they look like huge golf balls. They're just really strange. There's one at Pearl Harbor,
Hawaii.
Yeah, it's stationary.
Let me show people Pearl Harbor. By the way, that one I remember. I don't know if you remember the caller, Justin True. He's a YouTuber as well. He actually started through the Foogle fam and started his channel. He's in Hawaii. Mahalo, Justin, by the way. But Justin, just in time, he had actual pictures directly from like the other side of the water of these the big golf ball. That's what they call it once you see it. And it's freaky, isn't it? Doesn't that mean that they have a military boat that might be able to control, up above?
Yeah, I literally saw, I used to live in Long Beach, Washington, and just literally right in between, it's on the border of Washington and Oregon where the Columbia River meets the ocean. And I saw one of these ships with a big golf ball on it going up the Columbia River myself. As a matter of fact, I got pictures of it. So I mean, they have several of them. It's not just one installation anymore. It's all around the world. It's all over the place. They have mobile and stationary things.
Yeah, it's actually freaky. Oh, this is what I was looking for, and gosh, actually found it by looking up golf ball weather. Weapon. Look at this.
That's crazy.
So this,
you wouldn't think that would be public knowledge.
So and here's the crazy part. So this image that you are seeing here, right? This is a military thing. Not only that, it can actually submerge. And think about the use for this. So you take this thing out into people don't even understand the scale of this. A person you wouldn't even be able to see. If you can see my mouse, a person would be the size of the index finger on this mouse. So this is gigantic. This is something you stood at the bottom and looked up at in awe, like if a huge cargo ship was on land. This is twice as wide of that. And if a cargo ship was on land, you would sit there and just look up in awe. This thing's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
That's crazy.
Do you think that they are altering stuff up above us?
I don't think that there is actually any natural occurrences that happen. I think it's all manipulated now.
Do you think that they've been doing it for decades and something happened years ago and they had to try to stop something and now they're trying to fix their mistakes?
Early 90s, from what I understand.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of ex-military say that same exact thing. which is crazy since some of them had some pretty big clearances. So why would they say that?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
pretty hush-hush, though.
Yeah, well, Vinny, is there anything else you want to talk about before you go? You have been here a long time, so you get
I was going to show you on my main channel. I have pretty weird video from something up in the clouds there. Some really creepy purple light that's behind the clouds, and it was reported like nationwide, several different states. Not from OMG Reels. It was my personal page. You go to Vinny Vengeance.
Vinny Vincent?
You have the link out.
Vinny.
I'm sorry, you guys both talked at the same time.
Vinny Vengeance. It's VENGEANCE.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And thank you, Dex. Okay, it looks like I have the Texas one. Okay. Okay, pulling it up.
And you might want to, I don't know if you want to, it has music on it behind it. You might want to mute that.
Oh, no, that's fine. I actually had it on in the beginning. Let me, I'm not going to play the music for sure. Do you want to explain what we're looking at, though?
Well, I Googled it, and it has been explained as lasers being used to identify train yards, people, boundaries and where not to go or whatever. But it's a crock of crap. I don't know what the hell this thing is, but I mean, it's been cited in several different states. I know, Iowa, Wisconsin, Ohio. I think somewhere over towards the East Coast as well. There was a video or pictures of it.
What does it do? Does it pulsate or does it just sit there?
No. Well, it just kind of sits there. I think it kind of, I've seen it on several different occasions, and it kind of seemed to, move to a couple of different locations. But that could kind of been from my perspective of where I was at too. But I mean, it's, pretty much the same general direction in the sky. It was in the northern sky. But what it is, I have no idea. and it varied from brightnesses too. So, I mean, it was, it's not always the same brightness. Sometimes it's brighter than others, but.
Yeah. What is the flashing? Did you see the flashing?
Lightning.
Okay. And then
lightning.
That's weird. So it's a lightning, cloudy night, and then there's this purple light up in the sky above the clouds, just hovering there. So you actually think it's like a military thing or like a satellite thing or a laser thing? That's how they're explaining it?
I don't think it has anything to do with a laser. If it was a laser beam, you would see the beam going up to where it's at. And I don't see any visible stream of light going up to it from the ground. You know what I'm saying? This is, whatever this is, it's coming from behind the clouds.
That is creepy, Vinny. That really is. And we're seeing more videos like it. Have you noticed that? Have you seen videos just like yours?
No, I haven't.
There's another video, and oddly enough, they keep getting put onto like the YouTube stories, the 15-second clips, and they're all TikTok videos that people are reposting over to YouTube. And I've seen this one that it has the purple lights, but they move. and then one white light shoots out of the purple light, and you can tell it's thousands of feet above where the planes are flying. So you're like, how is it doing that? But great catch, Vinny. I'll try to tweet the video. And in fact, a Foogle family member sent it to me, and I realized it wasn't hers. I was almost going to play it, but then I realized she was actually sharing it from somebody else. Otherwise, I would have played it because, man, it was a good video. It's still in my inbox on Instagram. I'll make sure to tweet it. If you are following me on Twitter, great.
I don't have Twitter or Facebook.
I don't blame you. That's totally fine. I wouldn't either if I don't have a personal one, so I get you. Well, thank you so much. Again, Vinny V, you've been around a long time, and I really, really appreciate you sticking around. So you have a great night, okay?
Yeah, thanks. You too. Have a good night there, Foogle fan. Love you guys.
All right, God bless you.
Keep on keeping on, man.
All right, bye-bye. That was Vinny V, a.k.a. OMG Reels. If you want to see more videos like that, go to his channel. There's 2 channels, actually. He has OMG Reels, and then he has Vinny Vengeance. I love it. Vinny Vengeance. By the way, you can go over and comment under mine if you want to say hi. One thing that I always do when I go to a channel is I comment and I say hi and then I thumbs up. It helps their engagement and it helps somebody else and it doesn't cost a thing. And you can do something and change people's life, and your vote matters, your like matters, your everything matters. Okay. Well, on YouTube. Okay, I was trying to turn off the echo before I talked, otherwise it would be crazy. All right, let's get back into it. Dex, are you still there? Yes.
Yeah, I'm still here.
We have what was that?
I had a quick thought on the weather stuff in Texas, and the first thought that comes to my mind is we should be watching for what happens to the next state. And it's sort of obvious what the next state is, in my opinion. That would be Florida. And if we see, hurricane after hurricane after hurricane this summer pounding Florida, then we know there's something going on.
Oh, isn't that funny? The certain states, right? If there's any connection there. Yeah,
those two are the ones that seem to have the bullseyes on, in my opinion, right now. And so it'll be interesting if one was really just power grid related, then that's one thing. But if we see just an odd number or a massively big one hit Florida, we know there's something going on in that conflict.
Well, so we'll see. And I have a feeling they're going to say it's El Nino or El Nina or whatever, and or La Nina. And we're going to have some sort of insane storm this year. That's for sure. Star Basket, thank you for following. Asker Boulders, thank you so much for following. Any new people, make sure to welcome them. Expert Menk, Upstate Patriot, thank you so much. Osmu, thank you for joining us. All right, Dex, well, is there anybody else on the line? Do we have... That was the last call.
No, we're good.
All right.
That was our last one.
Well, thank you guys all for coming tonight. We have a really awesome show coming up in just a few days, so make sure to stay tuned. We might not be here tomorrow. Just want to let you know ahead of time for those of you diehard Foogles, but we will be putting out videos. Again, tomorrow is the 22nd, or later today is 22nd. So love you guys, but again, make sure to check. Go to our website. Our notifications will go out. Sign up for marfooglenews@gmail.com. We'll definitely be putting videos on Marfoogle News, so make sure to check that channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do so. Thank you, everybody that supported. I'll be doing the top 5. First, I'll be going over to the YouTube. Hunter Bear Ian. Shout out to Angry Sweater or Argyle Sweaters and Sweater Vests. It's not a vest. It's Argyle. That's true. Why are you calling me out, man? I had the whole show and no one said Argyle. Thanks. It's officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the people that matter most. You. It is freestyle time. My Jime. Dex, Jime is a word, right?
It is now.
It is now. That's right. That is what I am talking about. Don't take the G off. Talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Jammer One, our mod, is top supporter. Jammer, you don't even have to do that. Thank you for supporting. Really appreciate it. We're making a song about Jammer.